One.
Okay, well, welcome everybody.
Let's go.
So, if you haven't been here before, this is our live discussion. Um, Dawdle, that is Charlie, so just ignore him. Um, so yeah, you've got myself, Jess, and then there's Tash and Ali on the SBT account there. Thank you
Hey.
to our moderators.
Hey
You know what?
guys.
This feels
And
really weird.
say that again.
Does
It
it?
feels weird.
Do you think? Yeah.
Yeah.
It does feel weird being, yeah.
Um, And today we are going to be talking about true crime, and it's the Delphi murders. So, if
41.
people,
Yes.
41.
41, if people in the chat can just
Okay.
mention, whether they've heard of this before, whether they haven't. Have you heard of it before, Ali and Tash?
Well, obviously I haven't. I'm blind as
Bit.
a bat.
So you're coming in blind, okay?
Yeah, I've heard of it and obviously read up a little bit about it, but not in
Okay,
detail.
you've read up a little bit. So
Yes. Yeah.
Ali's going to be blind, but
Hey,
she's got the
Debbie.
spirit talker on, and then myself, I know quite a lot about the case. I've been following it quite
Oh, damn.
closely.
Just got to move
Um,
the camera.
and Tash, like she said, knows a little bit, but she's going to be telling the story, or what the details of the case with me. So yeah,
That's better.
bit of a mix.
Sorry. I noticed you could see something that shouldn't be seen.
Oh, okay. I didn't click that. Hawkeye is not on the ball tonight.
Yeah. Mansion. Mansion.
Mansion. Okay.
So
So
Tash, I'll leave it to
today,
you to start.
yeah. So today's discussion takes us to a place in Delphi in Indiana, USA. There's only around 3,000 residents in this city, so it's not too big by any means, and has many parks and hiking trails. It's on one of these trails where our story takes us today, the Monon. Did I get that right?
Yeah, did you say
Yes.
Monan?
Yes. I mean, I guess we're all going to say it different with our accents, but the Monon High Bridge Trail. This trail takes you around an hour and a half to complete, and it's only 1.6 miles.
We're here. Here.
Okay.
Depending on how fast you walk, I guess.
Well,
Well,
For me,
yeah,
it'd probably take all day.
yeah, same.
So
we're here. Sorry, we're here.
We're
okay,
here.
You want it? Oh, I can't see what it's fucking see.
Do you want it?
Do you want it? I don't know what you want.
Depends what it is.
so why are we talking about the Monan High Bridge Trail? Well, unfortunately, on the 13th of February 2017, this trail is where 13-year-old Abby Williams and 14-year-old Liberty German were brutally murdered. Abby and Libby were best friends. Libby was a really smart girl. She wanted to be a science teacher or a detective when she was older. Abby was a creative girl that was into music and art. So, two lovely, lovely teenage girls. Abby had stayed over with Libby on the Sunday night, and on the Monday morning, they were wondering what to do for the day because they were off school. So, where they live is in Indiana. And in Indiana, they have a day off, which is called like a snow makeup day. So, I won't go into the details of that. I did look into it and it confused me a little bit. We don't have that here in the UK. So,
Never heard of it.
no, but they had a day off on the Monday anyway.
Good.
So, they were wondering what to do. In Delphi, there isn't actually much for teenagers to do, to be honest. So they do a lot of like hanging out in the woods. If they wanted to go to the cinema or bowling, things like that, they had to go to a local city called Lafayette. It has a lot more entertainment over there in that city. It wasn't really an option for the girls as they only had limited money and transport.
So after their pancakes in the morning, they begged Kelsey, which is Libby's older sister, to drive them to the Monon High Bridge Trail, where they would spend some time taking photos like teenage girls do and upload them onto their Snapchats. Kelsey was getting ready to go to her boyfriend's house and then needed to go to work, but feeling bad, she'd been saying no to her little sister quite a lot recently. She agreed to take them, but only if someone else could pick them up, as she wouldn't have the time. So Libby called her dad, Derek, who agreed to collect them around 3:30 p.m. The trails were only a mile and a half outside the town, so not too far. Being teenagers, they'd forgotten their coats, and as it was still a bit chilly, Kelsey made sure they took some jumpers they had left on the back of the car seat. Kelsey dropped them off at the trail and watched them walk away until she couldn't see them anymore.
So when it got to 3 p.m., Derek, who's Libby's dad, he tried calling Libby to let them know that he was on his way. However, she didn't answer the phone, which wasn't really like her. At 3:15 p.m., Derek pulled into the same spot that Kelsey had earlier dropped the girls off, and he waited. But come 3:30 p.m., the girls were nowhere to be seen, and Libby's phone kept going straight to voicemail at this point. Abi, she didn't have a phone with her at all. Derek started calling the family to ask if they'd heard from Libby, but none of them had. So he started to worry. Like I said, it really wasn't like the girls to go without any contact. They were quite good at keeping in contact with the families and letting them know what they were up to, and it wasn't like them to be late either. Libby's family then got in touch with Abi's family, and Abi's mum presumed the girls had probably just run out of phone battery. The girls had lost track of time. Not wrong to presume this was two teenage girls, let's be honest. Either way, the girls' families started gathering at the trail to see if they could find the girls themselves.
Did you catch what that spirit talker just said?
I didn't.
No.
No, nor did I.
Okay. Right. Libby had posted 2 pictures on her Snapchat of their time on the trail, specifically the Monon High Bridge. Now, this bridge is huge and quite frankly awful. Looks really, I cannot pronounce that word, Jess, and unstable. It reminded...
Dilapidated.
That's the one. It reminded me of, if anyone's ever watched Stand By Me, the railway track, bridge looking thing. It reminds me of that. People have even been known to crawl across the bridge because of how scary it is, which is probably what I would have done, with the drops at the side and the gaps between the rotten wooden planks to walk on. It's an old railway bridge that runs across Deer Creek. It's 1,300 feet long and it stands around 70 feet off the ground. It hasn't been in use since the 80s. One end of the bridge is connected to the walking trails, but isn't actually part of the trail itself. If you cross the bridge, you just come to a dead end. It's just forest at the other end. Anyway, the Snapchat from Libby showed a photo of the bridge itself and then another photo of Abi walking across the bridge. Quite a nice scenic photo.
And that's the photo you can see here.
That's the one behind Jess. Kelsey had seen the 2 Snapchat photos and told the families the bridge seemed like the most logical place to look for the girls, as this is where they had been seen.
Unfortunately, there was no sign of the girls around the bridge, and with it being February in Indiana, it was getting cold and dark. With no other option, at around 5 o'clock, the families called the sheriff's department. This is the local sheriff. So the local sheriff's department had quite a lot of experience in locating lost hikers. They didn't think it would be any problem locating the girls. They just thought, they'd turn up, they've probably just gone off the trail a little bit and they'd turn up. But when it got to midnight, even they had to call off the search until the morning. The terrain was too bad and it was just too dark. And they'd even called in backup from the local fire department, which was made up of volunteers. And they all had their full-time paid jobs to go to early the next morning. So it just seemed like the right thing to do to call it off at that time. So on the 14th of February, which is the next day, the search resumed. Hundreds of local residents even came to look for the girls. They started off quite early, and it got to the point where they'd been searching for hours and people were fearing the worst. At around midday, Kelsey was stood on the bridge when she heard one of the volunteers shouting, "Don't forget Kelsey is Libby's sister."
One of the volunteers had found a black Nike trainer. Kelsey knew the shoe belonged to Libby instantly. Unfortunately, soon after, at 12:15, the girls' bodies were found about a quarter of a mile away from the Monon High Bridge in a ravine. The post-mortem wouldn't be completed until the following day. However, the police wouldn't disclose any information about what was found in the post-mortem or anything to do with the scene of the crime. Police had a reason for withholding information, which we'll come into later. The only things that the police said was it was definitely a homicide and it was incredibly disturbing.
Dream.
Dream. One thing we do need to bear in mind here that the crime scene itself was outside, so there are many things that could have disrupted any evidence. Things like wild animals, weather, and not to mention the amount of people that had been walking around looking for the girls.
Why are you here?
So on the 15th of February, the police held a press conference asking anyone that was in the Monan High Bridge on that day to come forward, especially if they had taken any photos of the area.
So one thing that I do want to mention here, which is quite a big point of discussion, is that in the press conference, the police mentioned there was no risk to anyone else. So with that being said, the public started wondering if this was a domestic dispute, something that perhaps happened within the family. I wonder why the police had said this. So, oh, thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Well, that was loud.
Oh no, that made me jump.
Because clearly there was still someone out there that had done this. So that confused me a little bit, why the police would say, you know,
Yeah.
no risk to anyone. So,
Your heart is rare.
Thanks, guys.
The police also released a picture of a man on the bridge, which you can see here. It was quite grainy, but you can make out a white man, stocky build, with a blue jacket and blue jeans. He had one hand in his pocket and he's looking down at the ground. It's quite hard to make out any other specific features from this picture. We've also posted this picture to our TikTok page, so you can see it there. And there is some footage on there as well from Libby's phone. So this man here, where is it? Here. He would go on to be called Bridge Guy. That's what everyone then started calling him.
Bridge Guy.
Bridge
Guy.
Yeah.
I could think of worse words.
Yeah.
He was on the bridge at the same time as the girls, so the police are all over it. If he's not a witness, then he must be the killer, right? So you might be wondering where this picture came from. Was it CCTV, a trail cam? No. Actually, the police had recovered Libby's phone not far from the bodies. She was smart enough to take her phone out and get a picture of this man that was following them across the bridge.
So sad.
Yeah.
That feeling they must have felt to know to get her phone out, you know?
Yeah.
So on the 22nd of February, the police held another press conference. They played an audio file from Libby's phone of just 3 words, down the hill, and asked anyone to come forward if they know who this man on the bridge saying these 3 words may be.
Okay, so I've actually got a recording, like an audio clip of this. Let me just get it up.
Micah, play the clip, please.
Can you hear that?
Yeah.
Okay,
Play it
so
one more time.
Not part of the audio. So as you can hear, the audio isn't great, so they did try and clean it up. Jess will play the cleaned up version now.
Be what drives some of it up.
okay, sorry, that was the detective talking in that bit.
Yeah.
So I'll just finish what he's saying there.
Solve this. Just a sense of community and wanting to help and to get this person off the street.
He hides.
The image
He hides.
suspect that came from Liberty's phone. I think many of you had speculated that before. We weren't prepared to discuss it at the time. We have more video. We're not releasing it. And it's important that we spread that person's voice far and wide for somebody that will recognize who that is and will call us and tell us.
Okay, so I'll play the cleaned up version then.
Yeah.
Did you hear that okay?
Yeah, it's still
What is-
obviously fuzzy.
Yeah,
but
what is it supposed to be saying?
Down the hill.
down the
Down the
hill.
hill.
That's this guy here. and he's
Yeah,
saying to the girls, down the hill.
down here, and she's caught that on her phone
Yeah. I'll
while
play it again.
chilling. Yeah, go
I
on.
want to come.
He's such a
Right.
fight, even fight, bite. Fight for
Honestly,
what?
yeah.
Okay, so
Right.
that
Yeah,
was
that's a bit better. You can hear him say that. So you can clearly hear the man saying to the girls, down the hill. But what does this actually mean? Bridge Guy was actually telling the girls to go down the hill, where they then crossed the river, and he had killed them. He then left their bodies on the side of the river. Now, although they were in a national park, the land the girls were found on was actually private property belonging to a man named Ron Logan.
So this brings us on to suspect number 1, Ron Logan.
Why do I feel there's more than one suspect?
There was more than one suspect, yeah. So what was that?
There's holes in the case.
Interesting. Naturally, Ron became a suspect as this murder did take place on his land. His house wasn't too far away. But what I think about this, why would he kill 2 girls and just leave them to be found on his own land?
On his own land, yeah.
Just leave them there. It's a bit obvious, unless it was a double bluff.
Just looking at his picture, just looking at that image, I don't feel like he killed him.
Okay, interesting.
I don't know. It's
Yeah.
just no, it wasn't him.
I was listening to a podcast today actually, and they were saying, so if you go onto our TikTok, hi Keely, if you go onto our TikTok and you'll see some of the footage that I put on yesterday, was it, or the day before? Basically, it's the actual video that Libby took of Abi walking along the bridge and this guy hit.
Filled with doom.
So you can hear the girls talking to each other saying, oh, I don't know if we go down this track, you know, that type of thing. They're a bit lost. They don't know which way.
I feel like he knows something.
And then he just says, guys, down the hill. So it's as if he's sort of directing them, like, if you're lost, you need to go down the hill.
Yeah.
And that was a really interesting spin on it, because everyone automatically put this guy as, well, he was there, he must have done it.
Yeah.
This podcast I was listening today, they were just like, well, actually, maybe he was just a guy walking.
Wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah. And it is interesting. We will come on to that.
I know.
A bit later as well, because there's something else that I'm going to say about that. But with regards to this Ron guy who owned the land that they were found on, he was seen wearing the same clothes as this guy, if I just move out of the way. But I mean, what guy wouldn't just wear jeans on
I was going to say that's normal, isn't it?
Yeah.
Blue jeans, blue top.
But the only thing about this guy, this Ron guy who owns the lands, before the girls were even discovered, Ron had asked his cousin to be his alibi.
No energy.
This is before the girls were even discovered.
Wow.
So why would he do that? Well, the reason he had done it was because he knew the police would be asking him about his whereabouts, because he had heard that there'd been people murdered on his land. And the thing is, he'd been driving about that day, taking a load of rubbish to the tip, when he shouldn't have been driving at all, because he had been banned from driving.
Right.
I think he was banned for drink driving, actually. So that's why he'd asked his cousin to give him the alibi. It was because he shouldn't have been driving. But that's quite a big point of discussion there as well.
Yeah.
Is people said, well, why is he asking for his cousin to give him an alibi? It was
just makes you look guilty then, doesn't it?
Yeah. So yeah,
Excuse me.
You know.
Yeah.
Quite a bit.
So then we come on to suspect number 2. How do you pronounce it, Jess?
Kegan.
Right, okay. So February the 25th, 2017, FBI investigators executed a search warrant linked to a man owning an online account what's his name? Anthony Shots.
Anthony underscore Shots he went as, yeah.
Yeah.
What's
This
that?
is
Oh,
how?
I can't see.
How?
How? Question mark. How? Question. How?
Don't know. This is a
Indians.
catfish account that had a male model as the profile picture. How'd you do his name?
And actually, the catfish account, it was a male model, but this male model was also a police officer as well.
Oh. Right.
So just
Oh.
yeah.
Hey, have you got an image for this other person?
I can find one. Yeah, I can put it on our socials.
Name again?
No, I like to hand. I just want to see what the second suspect looks like.
Yeah, let me have a look.
Sorry, you know what I'm like.
I'll tell you what. I'll get you a picture of the first suspect so you can see him. I think he's passed away now. I'm sure I heard that he passed away.
More. It said more.
Alfie keeps connecting my earbuds to his phone.
It's doing my head in.
I'm going to call him Klein because I cannot remember how to pronounce his first name. Okay, so
yeah,
Klein.
Don't even get me speaking it. You know what I'm like.
Yeah.
I can't speak at the best.
All I'm reading is Keegan.
Flip my screen. Yeah. Morning. So this is what.
Morning. As in like grieving.
Oh, hello.
I don't know why he's there, but yeah.
Okay.
You can't. Oh God.
The orange shirt.
That's the first. Yeah, they're both the same guy.
Yeah, I don't like the look of him. He's got bad energy.
That's the guy who owned the land. So that's
right.
Logan.
Right. Suspect number one.
Suspect number one. Yeah. And actually, this is quite a good. Look at that picture there. I know it's blurry.
Yeah.
It's a blurry picture.
That bloke's definitely.
How did I die?
It's got something to do with it.
Look at that.
Right, but he didn't kill them, if that makes sense.
So this is the guy whose land.
Right. Okay.
Whose land the bodies were found on.
Suspect number one.
And I just can't stop looking at that.
Oh, it's really. It's horrible. I've seen the video footage of them actually recorded. It's horrible.
But that one there looks just like that guy there. So this is Ron Logan, this picture of him walking.
Yeah.
It looks so similar to the guy on the bridge.
Right. Okay. So they're two different people. I thought that was the same person.
Well, are they? That's the question.
Wow.
Exactly. That's...
Yeah.
So the guy who's so that guy. So this is the.
He's got some bad energy about him, but I don't feel like
he's got evil eyes.
Did it?
I think it's because I've got the green screen on that it's not. But yeah, this guy, he, wow, that one there looks just like the bridge guy. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Same build and everything.
That's crazy. Anyway, I'll get a picture now of the second suspect, the one that we're talking about at the moment.
Yeah. So this is Klein.
Justified.
Hey, JR. So the second suspect, Klein, we'll call him because I can't pronounce his first name. It's going to get irritating. Nightmare. Okay. So Klein told police he'd used social media accounts to talk to underage girls.
Oh, I don't like the look of E.
Oh, no.
He's got some bad juju.
Right. So he's told the police that he has done social media accounts to talk to underage girls. So first of all, yuck.
Yeah.
Contacting both people he knew and didn't know. He told police he would find girls on Instagram and then ask them to talk to him on Snapchat. According to Klein, he exchanged messages with more than a dozen underage girls and received pictures from them. Klein said he had about 100 pictures from underage girls that were S in nature. Don't know what I can say on here. In addition to about 20 S explicit videos. Klein had learned his behaviour from his father, who was very much up to the same kind of thing and even into all sorts like bestiality. I don't know if I'm allowed to say.
Oh, God. That's not
yeah.
His dad was a piece of shit.
Yeah. Yeah. It was later revealed that Klein's profile had communicated with Libby. They'd even spoken on the day the girls disappeared. Wow.
Are they related?
Who? The girls?
The two guys?
Oh.
No.
Okay.
No. So he'd already spoken to them on the day the girls disappeared. Almost immediately after the murders, Klein and his dad went to Vegas. They planned on getting DJs together at the Bunny Ranch, which sounds really classy.
Yeah.
With his
Klein was
dad,
questioned
bearing in
with his
mind,
dad. That's gross. That's
at the
anyway,
same time.
yeah,
Oh,
each to their own, everyone's that's fine. But
Yeah.
with your dad, and anyway, Klein was questioned about this trip by police with the insinuation that they were running away after the murders. However, Klein and his father both said that this trip they had planned for a long time. Although phone records show that Klein had actually been relentlessly searching online for the Delphi case, listening to the audio of the bridge guy multiple times, and even Googled, can law enforcement trace IP address from social media, and how long does DNA last?
Tell me about
Okay. Yeah,
nightmare.
yeah. August 2020, Klein was charged with 30 felonies, including possession of child P, child exploitation, obstruction of justice, child solicitation, synthetic identity deception, according to online court records. December the 20th, 2021, Klein, whose name has become linked to the investigation to the Delphi murders, appeared in court for a pre-trial hearing on 30 counts of child P in Miami County. 30th of March 2023, Klein pleaded guilty to child exploitation charges. July 27th, 2023, Klein was sentenced to 40 years in prison after pleading guilty to child exploitation and child P charges. It has been said that the Anthony _ Shots account undoubtedly has been used not only by Klein but other paedophiles, don't know if I'm allowed to say that, to obtain photos and messages and message other girls, young girls.
We go with you always.
It was a shared account. It's important to note that Klein had never been charged in the 2017 murders of Abi and Libby.
yes.
So he hasn't been charged with the girls, but other gross stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he was actually talking to Libby on the day that they were
Yeah, disappeared.
yeah.
Mm.
So that Anthony
Bit
Shots
sus.
account, the catfish account,
Mhm.
I'm not sure because I couldn't find an answer on this, but some people were saying that that was a shared account
Mhm.
that PEDOs were using
Yeah.
and like sharing it basically.
Yeah.
And I think that this Klein guy had actually been making money by distributing images.
Mhm.
So it's just horrific. And the fact that he was actually talking to Libby on the day.
Yeah.
And
And
apparently,
Googling all the, how long does DNA last, and
yeah,
can they track an IP address? But he wasn't charged.
she's not here.
She's not here.
And apparently, he then spoke to Abi and Libby's other friend after the girls were killed, and he pretended like he
Isn't it,
didn't know
Dordle?
anything and stuff like that. But the police knew that he did know because he'd been researching it all online while he was away.
Did they
Yeah.
both get charged or just one of them?
Well, we're going to come on to suspect number 3 now. Oh, do you mean the dad as well as the...
Like, did they all get...
No, so far Klein's been charged with loads of gross stuff,
Right.
but nothing to do with the murders.
but nothing to do with the girls.
Right.
So then we have suspect number 3, which is Richard Allen. I'm going to get a picture of him for you, but because I've got the green screen on, it might not work very well.
Yeah.
So I'll try my best. And see what you think about him, Ali. Let me flip.
I want one.
There, that's the guy. So this is suspect number 3, Richard Allen. Okay, so
Is that the same person? He looks really beefed up in the
Yeah, I
orange
was going to say.
and skinny in the other one.
It is the same person, but
Oh, okay.
it'll soon become clear why. Because when he was
Okay.
hi Bettina,
Hey,
because
Bettina.
when he was actually imprisoned, he was put in solitary confinement, and he kind of went a bit downhill from there. So
Right, okay.
it was on Halloween, actually, October the 31st, 2022. Richard Allen was officially arrested in connection to the murders of Abi and Libby. Richard Allen is what you would call a regular guy. He was 45 years old. He had a wife and he had a grown-up daughter as well. The police were only looking into him after they asked to speak with anybody that was on the trails that day. So, they, you know, in one of their press conferences, they said, anybody who was actually there on the day or taking photos, come and talk to us. We want to know what you've got, or if you saw anything dodgy going on. Just a general thing. He actually did go and speak to them. So they interviewed him. He willingly went to the police and told them that he was there that day. However, the file for that interview or chat, whatever you want to call it, it was misfiled, and then he wasn't looked into any further. So 5 years later, there was a volunteer file clerk was sorting through all the documents, and they then looked into Alan further and realised that there were significant things tying him to the murders. So his home is around 5 miles from where the bodies were found. He was working at the local CVS in the pharmacy department, where he had actually printed out photos of the girls for their funerals upon request from the families, which is, he regularly hunted in the area and he carried firearms for that purpose. And prosecutors said police analysis of his gun determined that the .40 caliber unspent round, which was discovered by the girls' bodies, was actually cycled through Alan's gun. He did plead not guilty, but on the 12th of November 2024, Richard Allen was found guilty of all charges and sentenced to 130 years in prison.
Are you frightened?
No, not at all. Interesting.
Okay, so I'll do the next bit. Oh, are you there, Tash? Sorry, I thought you'd gone.
Ella's keeps getting my earbuds so I can hear her playing her iPad. I'm like, no, it's my earbud.
Charlie's literally sat
I've done it
as well. Don't worry, I can read it. It's fine. So there is a little bit of controversy around this, the deal with Richard Allen here. So he had been in solitary confinement for 13 months. It's the Department of Corrections policy that someone with severe mental illness must not be put in solitary for more than 30 days. But Richard Allen, he didn't have any mental health issues prior to being imprisoned. It wasn't until April 2023 when Richard's behaviour started to change and he admitted to the murders of Abi and Libby. So he actually admitted that he did it. One corrections officer, Michael Clemens, testified for the prosecution that Allen told him, I, Richard Matthew Allen, killed Abi and Libby myself. No one helped me. Clemens said Allen would shout to other inmates, I'm not crazy, I'm only acting like I'm crazy. So I think he was putting a spin.
It's not for you.
And another corrections officer, Michael Roberts, testified that on April the 23rd, 2023, Allen said, I killed Abi and Libby. My wife wasn't involved. I want to confess. And days later, according to Roberts, Allen said, can I talk? Can you listen?
I want one.
I killed Abi and Libby. How do I prove I'm insane? Okay. So a juror asked how a psychiatrist can tell if someone is faking psychosis. Dwenger said the clinician listens to body language and the chain of the story. And they said if the story is organised, the person is probably faking psychosis. And if it's disorganised and out of chronological order, it is more likely the person
You are unstoppable now.
or delusional.
Did you hear that, Tash?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I need a
Alan's
fag.
strange behaviour.
What the hell?
So yeah, he was acting really strangely when he was in custody. He was hitting his head on the wall, washing his face in the toilet, refusing to eat, eating paper, smearing his feces in his cell and putting feces on his face for 2 hours.
Oh my God.
According to the testimony from corrections
You
officers.
could have warned me that he was going to have real gory details.
Oh, that's gross.
Disgusting.
I know. But
So-
was he doing this to try and
Disgusting's just come out.
Yeah, it is. You're right. It's disgusting.
you
It
know,
is
was
very
he doing this to
disgusting.
try and seem like he was
I think so. That's just.
psychologist Dr. Monica Waller?
Shit in hell, the bowl's just gone over.
I thought I heard that.
Oh my gosh.
They never give up, do they?
No.
So this psychologist, Dr. Monica Waller, a state witness who testified about Alan's alleged confessions to her, she wrote in her report that she believed that Alan was suffering from situational psychosis. And she said Alan would have episodes of psychosis and then it would go into remission.
So he was putting it on.
Yeah, that's basically what I got from that.
Yeah.
But, you know, the defence has attacked her credibility, though, because she admitted to being a true crime fan who listened to
Hi,
and
Joey.
participated in Delphi relating podcasts. And she was in loads of online forums discussing the case. So why is she involved in giving him...
No.
He should have got a different psychologist in. I'm sorry,
No.
I do not think that's right.
No.
No, definitely not.
No. Hello, Joey.
So that is the case. He's in prison. Like we said before, he's actually got, how was it, 130 years?
130, I think it said.
Yeah.
Tell the truth.
Tell the truth.
Tell the
Tell
truth.
the truth.
So there was the three suspects there, the three main suspects, and this Richard Allen guy was then imprisoned for the murders. So if we think back, there was a bullet
Yeah.
that had got done around through his gun. It wasn't.
2 secs, Jess. Joey, don't really think this is what you need to be on, babe. It's my friend's little boy.
Ah.
Not today, Joey. Sorry. Oh, his mum texting me in a minute.
I've put my camera back on and I'm smoking. Shit.
I didn't even see.
It's all right, we've already got a restriction.
Why?
Oh, have we?
I think because I was blowing my vape out when I.
Oh, I forgot. It's stupid, isn't it?
Yeah.
Honestly.
So pathetic.
Breaking my neck trying to have a puff. Like, do you know what I mean?
I
Like,
know. I'm like this.
Run.
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 So, what do you think, Ali, after hearing that? Then.
I don't know. I think all three are involved somehow.
Well, it's funny you should say that because, you know that guy who got
Hi, Katie.
Kegan?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're all connected somehow.
So that Kegan guy, he said to these girls that he was talking to, these underage girls, he said, "What would you think about doing it with a 45-year-old guy?" Now, some people thought he might have been talking about his dickhead dad.
Yeah.
But his dad was a lot older than that. And do you know who was 45 years old?
Who?
Richard Allen, who was then imprisoned for the murders. Because this Anthony Shots account is potentially a shared account, could Richard Allen have been using this account?
Yeah.
Do they know each other?
Yeah, I feel like they're all connected. I think the guy on the bridge instructed him to go down a certain route.
Yeah. So who's the guy on the bridge?
Well,
Alan.
but they
Oh, we
think
don't know.
they think it's
Yeah.
him. Yeah, they
Right.
think it's Richard Allen, and he's been put in prison for it. So
Yeah, he led them to wherever the other two.
But yeah, we
it was
had
all-
the suspect number 2, was it? Googling how long DNA lasts and
Yeah.
if I just try and I don't know if I can now while I'm on.
Let's just say it's very sloppy. So
Yeah.
they aren't. They've never done it before. Is what I'm getting.
yeah.
It's they
Yeah, it was Klein.
fantasized about doing it.
Yeah.
Just
Klein was definitely involved. Googling, can law enforcement trace the IP address? How long does DNA last?
Yeah.
You know, charged with loads of child stuff and, you know, gross stuff.
so this, can you see this picture here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is actually so there's the river. Their bodies were found down here near
Yeah.
the riverbank there.
Watch us.
So I think the bridge was around, well, behind me where I am, behind the person who's taking the picture, basically. So just to give you a bit of an idea of what it was, you can see a path going down there as well. So when he said down the hill, is this where he was talking about?
Yeah, the other two were lied in wait. It's all free.
Do you think?
Yep.
Really shocking. And girls must have been so scared to get their phone out and record, knowing,
Yeah.
you know, that if they'd left their phone, police would find it.
Yeah, I reckon, yeah, all three have got something to do with it. And it's the first time they've ever done it.
So she starts recording. So she's recording her friend walking across the bridge, and she's uploading it to Snapchat. And then there's a little discussion in the video, which you can see on our page. I have uploaded it on there. And they say,
Yeah.
I think we have to go this way. Oh, no. And then they sort of say, well, maybe we have to go down this way. And he then says, guys, down the hill. So the police didn't release the whole thing until recently. She then keeps recording, but puts the phone in her pocket, we think. Obviously, the police haven't provided any more footage from the phone because of obvious reasons. It's them going down the hill, walking down the hill. And you can imagine how they must have been feeling at that point. So
The second two, not the one on the bridge, the other two people you showed,
yeah.
I want to say they met in a pub.
Interesting.
Interesting. So you've got Ron
The
Logan.
guy who owns the land and the Anthony Shots catfish guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like a conversation was had and they got on, and then over time they were into the same thing.
Yeah.
But the first two, hang on, one on the bridge and the guy with the black hair. Wondering. I feel like they're connected, like by blood.
Really? Interesting. I can't get over the fact that the picture of the first guy, Ron, who owns the land, looks so similar to the guy on the bridge.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's what I mean.
Out eventually, but Katie's got goosebumps. Sorry, Katie.
Yeah.
That picture of him walking. See if I can.
Yeah, they are definitely all connected, all involved. But the one on the bridge definitely led to them down there.
Yeah, the video of watching the girl walk and him behind is creepy.
For sure.
Hang on, I'll yeah, here we go. So this is the guy who owns the land.
Hey kiddo, why did you come in?
That's the picture.
Karen.
That's the pitch. Can you see this? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the guy walking on the bridge. The one from the phone, from Libby's phone. That is the guy who owns the land. What? I'm sorry.
It's the build and everything, you know, it's not just the clothes, it's the build. He's stocky, same sort of height, looks identical.
But now if I show you a picture of the guy who was put in prison.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
I think I put the filter on him.
He either did it. I want to say one of them panicked.
So now this picture here gets me, because this is him, Richard Allen, who was convicted, with his wife, and in the background on this notice board is a picture of the girls. This is when they were out in a pub or a restaurant or something. There was a picture there of the girls. You know, with it being local and news and everything, they'd put
And what, having a selfie with them?
I don't know whether it was on purpose or...
And was he the one that said, I did it on my own, my wife wasn't involved?
Yes.
Why do you need to mention that if she wasn't?
It is strange.
It is strange. Why do you need to mention that your wife wasn't involved if she wasn't?
So that's him. Yeah, exactly. And that you can see the this is a picture of the girls as Libby and Abby.
Jess, the one at the top, did they have children?
These,
Yeah.
they had an adult daughter,
Right.
so she's grown up now.
Mm.
These were the sketches that were done, which I don't think look anything like each other, to be honest.
No.
But yeah, that's
I don't
it.
even know why I'm looking closer at the screen
I
like
know,
it'll make
going like
any
that,
difference.
trying to get closer, like, hi guys.
Sorry.
You've got a face full of me now.
Yeah.
But if I just put Charlie, if I just get, you can see.
Was there any links found to those three? Like, did the police connect them?
No. No.
Because they're definitely, all three are connected to it. All three of them should be in prison, basically. Well, all three should be shot in the head. Oh, sorry, I should say that.
If I just find something a second, just in case you can't. I'm just going to get the video that they took on the bridge for whoever hasn't seen it. Oops.
Yeah, Katie, right? People would do this sort of thing. They shouldn't get to bloody breathe another day.
No.
Sorry. That's how you...
Absolutely shocking.
It's how you stop it, isn't it? If you get proper punishment. If you harm, physically, intentionally...
I can't stay.
...harm another human, you don't get to breathe another day. Why should you?
Nope.
Because it's like...
I've had Joey's mum message me.
Yeah, what I find really frustrating, right, is they go into prison and basically it's the life of luxury, and then they get to come out and start again. Well, what about the victims' families?
Yeah. You know, 3 square meals a day and gym time.
How is it justice? Because it's not. The justice
Get to learn a new trade or whatever, do a course.
The justice system is absolutely screwed.
Yeah.
I'll play you the video of
Mum's in house.
Hey Jackie.
Mum.
Okay.
And new identity. It's like oh, sorry, we're going off topic.
No.
I'm just gonna jump.
It's horrible. See what I mean by the Stand By Me bridge?
Yeah. Afraid. It's like those 2 little boys, and that little boy that got led away. They got to come out of prison, change their identity. The police blinking protected them.
Yeah, little James Bolger, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I remember that like it was yesterday.
How is it justice? Because it's not.
Look.
Can you hear him?
Mm.
The Murder Sheet, a podcast investigating the unsolved murders of Abi. The Murder Sheet, a podcast.
Go away. I'll play it again one more time.
So it's just really scary, like he's literally behind her.
Yeah.
There's me. Let's get her phone out.
I hope.
There's no path going there, so we have to go down here.
There's no path going there, so we have to go down here.
39.
39.
Bless you.
That was
The Murder
Charlie.
Sheet, a podcast investigating the unsolved murders of Abby Williams and Libby German, provided us a copy of this search warrant that reveals new facts about the crime scene where the girls' bodies were found out back on Ron Logan's Carroll County property on February 14th, 2017.
This is the gate they left down.
That's Ron, the first suspect.
Wow. The landowner.
Yeah.
Backs up to Deer Creek and sits at the bottom of the gorge where the Monon High Bridge
Look at
towers
the
up
height of the bridge.
Wow.
German.
Oh,
Abby
no.
Williams at the
It's
man
gone.
who took their lives.
There's the crime scene down there. See how the ground's much more matted down right there? I think you're right there.
The search warrant.
You can hear it in his bloody voice.
I was going to say it sounded like him.
I'm coming.
Libby German shot 43 seconds of video on her cell phone.
Oh, and he
of
has a
this
limp
man
as well.
following them on the
It's-
bridge.
Jess, can you replay his voice? You can hear it in his voice. It's like excitement.
There's the crime scene down there.
Like he's got a kick out of it.
On High Bridge towers up
Look
above.
the size of it.
But Libby German and Abby Williams met the man who took their lives.
There's the crime scene down there. See how the ground's much more matted down right there?
Yeah, it
Listen
sounds
to
like
how
him.
he's do you get what I mean? But how it's like he's reliving it. He's getting off on it.
German shot 43 seconds of video on her cell phone of this man following them on the bridge at approximately 2:13 p.m. on
That'd
February.
be why he led him, because there's no chance in hell he'd be able to run after him.
Girls' bodies were found on Logan's property. There was quite a loss of blood. The investigators think the killer may have gotten some of that blood on him. An item of clothing was missing from one of the girls, and
Bracelet.
it
Bracelet.
also appeared the girls' bodies were moved and staged, leading investigators to theorize that the killer took a souvenir from the crime scene and maybe took pictures. It looked to investigators like the girls died without putting up a fight. Unknown fibers and hairs were collected from the scene. The search warrant authorized investigators to seize any guns or knives Logan had in his house, take a sample of his blood or bodily fluids, and his cell phone.
This is my backyard.
New.
My backyard just happens to be bigger than most people. How many people have a murder committed at their home in their backyard?
You don't need to brag about it.
Who requested the search warrant wrote, quote, "I believe there is probable cause to believe that Ronald Logan has committed the crime of murder. The document shows Logan created a false alibi for the time the murders were committed, but he was never charged in the case. Logan was sentenced to 4 years in prison for violating probation in a drunk driving case, and that may be why he lied to investigators. We don't know if the search warrant turned up any evidence specifically related to the Delphi case. Logan died in January." In the newsroom, Russ McQuaid, Fox.
Oh, I didn't know he died.
Yeah.
Thank you. And since that day in 2017, investigators have followed many leads, including a fake social media account the girls had contact with. You can read more about that timeline on fox59.com right now. Police are still looking for information to find the person responsible for Abby and Libby's death. Here's that tip line again, 765-822-3535.
Obviously, this is before
Find
they
that and
caught
email
Richard
tip
Allen.
line at
Yeah.
fox.com.
Snake.
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 More than a snake.
It's Dawdle soon. Have we got numbers, Dawdle? Just thought I'd ask.
Oh, that's me. Sorry, where is it?
Oh, you can.
Yeah, it's me. It's me. It's me.
Is it me? And
Oh, I
I
can't even get into my own phone. 183.
That's all right, Dawdle. Ali's
Hi,
on it.
everyone at
Thank you. Hello. As you can see, my mum on holiday. I'm just getting ready for Kefalonia.
What do you want?
Don't know.
Just take a minute to
God.
Oh, no.
the beautiful girls, bless them.
Yeah, all three of them. They shouldn't be breathing.
Confident.
He confessed, this is Richard Allen, confessed to the crime during a phone call with his wife while in custody.
Was there, out of any of the three suspects, is there any background on any of them suffering something as a child? like abuse?
We
I
don't
think
know.
the Klein wasn't there?
Oh,
Klein's
Klein
dad was
yes.
vile.
And also his dad had. So this is the guy who, the second suspect we talked about, the one who had the catfish account online called Anthony. His father actually favoritized. Is that a word? He made Klein his favorite child, and he was an abusive father as well to the other children. So to Klein's siblings, Kegan's siblings. I think his 6-year-old brother, he was definitely 6. His dad actually assaulted him so bad that I think he fractured something. I think it might have been his skull or something. I can't quite remember. But yeah, this is just to give you background information on. I'll see if I can get a picture of Kegan now properly for you. So that is Kegan. Oh, it's blurry. That's Kegan. Oh, that's the model. I'm guessing that they were.
So if he was badly beaten then, because usually, like, if you go into the psychology side of it, what's his name again? Kegan
Klein.
Kegan, whatever his name is. So if
Klein.
his dad
and Tony
used to abuse him.
Oh, that's his dad.
Yeah, the one who's into the bestiality and all that.
Nice.
Somebody like that's suffered that, they go one of two ways. They become the abuser. They crave dominance over and that's all they'll go for. They want to be dominant over somebody. And
he's gross.
Yeah,
absolutely vile.
It's
you're just not tapped right in the head, are you? If you can even think about doing something like that, let alone doing it. Not wired right.
Don't leave me.
So yeah, these are the guys who had the online accounts. Yeah, that's the only bit of background information we know about them. That for the abuse side of it is that he was an abusive father, but we don't know about any of the others.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I do feel like two are connected somehow.
So sad. Their poor families. That one day.
Why have they reopened it then? Is this case been reopened?
No, it's closed. Yeah, they found enough evidence that they could convict him.
I don't think. Is there any evidence to show that they weren't just murdered? Do you get where I'm going?
Well, funnily enough, that's a really good question, actually. So this guy, Richard Allen, he actually said that he intended on R-ing them, but a truck drove past and it spooked him, so he unalived them by throat.
Right.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I was just wondering because that Klein, was Googling about DNA, and I just thought, oh,
yeah,
is there any kind of?
Yeah.
The police actually did look into this, and there was a truck that had gone past.
Oh, wow.
The exact time that the murders would have happened. So
he was telling the truth.
Yeah.
How noble.
And I wonder if he had a firearm in his pocket, and that's why the girls didn't put up much of a fight. So if
why were the girls? Why were they on that bridge anyway? Like, do you think? Because were they led there?
Well, they were there taking photos and uploading them to Snapchat, and the first few photos were quite nice, you know, just as teenage girls would, take pictures of the scenery and them posing and stuff like that. And then that's when Libby thought, I need to video this guy because he's walking behind us. Her sister actually said, I think it was Kelsey, she actually said, I don't think she intentionally took her phone out of her pocket and was like, I'm gonna oh no, it
Get
wasn't. It was her
evidence.
friend actually. It was one of the girls' friends said she used to do that all the time, and then she'd show you a video that she'd taken of someone and said, look, there's your boyfriend. So
Right.
they think that maybe she was just taking the phone out of her pocket initially to sort of record him and just for fun.
Yeah.
And then maybe to say to Abby afterwards, like, your boyfriend was on the bridge with us, you know, just something that teenagers would do. But then I think once he got closer and she started thinking, hang on a minute.
She kept recording.
She just kept recording.
Jess, can you just zoom in a minute? I just want to move over to the writing. That's it. Stay there. Okay.
My booty. Oh, my booty.
Haha. Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Right. Yeah, it's all right, Jess.
Yeah. What are you thinking?
It's all right. Some information just caught my eye. That was all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we've had quite a lot of that out.
Have we?
Mhm. That's nuts. Heidi, is Heidi in?
Was.
Heidi, you know what I'm talking about because she got
Yeah, I
notes.
think. Can't see her, but it doesn't mean she's not in.
It's stuff standing out at 3.
Yeah, I noticed the 3.
Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
Abby. Documents.
Yeah.
Francis,
we've had a lot, haven't we?
Mm-hmm. Judge, yeah. It's weird.
And Case, we've had Case out a lot, haven't we?
We have,
had Case
yeah,
out
yeah, because we
recently.
thought they were going to tell us what case to do, didn't we?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's all a bit. Oh, I don't know. I can't stop thinking about that.
No, all 3 of them are guilty.
I'm just going to Google something a moment.
It's possible.
It's possible.
It's possible.
Thanks, Chief.
I'm on holiday. Alfie's now coming. There you go.
All right, mate.
All right, mate. Alfie. Ali said, all right, mate. All right. All right.
So I just find it weird how they were unalived in the way of throat slitting. But his gun had an unspent.
Stop interrupting.
Sorry.
Okay.
Are they talking to Alfie?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Bugger off. He's gone now. He has gone now.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows?
If I just put a thing back on so that it's.
I was going to do that on screen then. Sorry.
I'm just having a little look here. Suspect.
It's always one of my kids, isn't it? Every time.
Did you say it was strangled?
Yeah. No.
Oh.
CUT.
Oh.
Yeah.
Slit.
Huh?
I did slit.
Oh.
I did wonder when it said there was quite a lot of blood loss, and then when you went throat, I thought strangled.
Energy.
Sorry.
Energy.
But that would make sense. Why?
Sorry, I'm just taking that off.
I don't know. I'm feeling it's all about like power.
You can see it there.
Yeah.
Okay.
One of them had a thing. I think he really, really fantasized about doing it a lot. Hell of a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, and that was the other thing that was really weird as well, was that Libby was found naked and covered in blood, but Abi was wearing Libby's clothes.
Oh,
He'd obviously redressed her
So
in the
they,
wrong
well, he did
way.
say, didn't he? He was going to,
yeah. So they did,
and maybe
yeah.
put the clothes back on the wrong one
Yeah,
after he was spooked by the truck.
yeah.
Oh,
No way.
So police claimed at the time of Alan's arrest that they had searched his home and found several knives and a gun that was allegedly linked to a bullet
Not
found at the scene.
exactly.
Not exactly.
He had
I was
confessed to the
gonna
murder.
say there would be a hell of a lot of splashback from that. Like,
yeah.
I was on the same line, Staudel.
Yeah.
I guess they haven't gone into detail though, have they? They've said there was a lot, but obviously
There should have been traces of blood on all three of them, unless one of them stood back.
All I can think about is that one of them would have had to see the other one.
yeah.
Yeah,
And that breaks my
Yeah.
heart so much knowing that she was next.
yeah.
Mm.
I can't even imagine.
It's just terror, innit? I expect her whole body went into shock.
13 and 14 as well. They're just babies.
Hopefully, she passed out.
Favorable.
Yeah.
The
What was that?
defense attorney said,
Did you? Like, from fear, because if you get so
Yeah.
frightened, you'll pass out.
Mm-hmm.
so the
So I hope-
defense actually said that a hair found on Abby's hand was not a match for Alan, for Richard Allen, the guy who was put.
Okay.
And also, now this is a really strange spin on it, okay? People think that this was a satanic cult as well. So they think,
interesting.
yeah, so some people have
So
theorized,
an initiation.
yeah, that this was a ritual. And the reason why they thought this was because there was the way that the girls were positioned, and there were carvings as well in trees nearby that were of rune symbols.
Yeah.
I'll see if I can get something on
Because
that.
some really dark cults, you do have to take a human life to get in. Sick as hell. Sick as hell. Here we need Samadine. Yay!
I was gonna put that into the script.
You shouldn't be here.
Yeah, you shouldn't be here.
So Odinism.
I'm not sure.
I need a
It was
fag.
an accident.
It was an accident. What do you mean it was an
A white
accident?
supremacist cult focused on the worship of the Norse god Odin. The belief system may also sometimes be referred to as a satru and is centered around white supremacist beliefs combined with magical elements of neo-paganism. Values in both groups center around the idea of folk, tribes, and individualism. Many of the elements of Norse culture and belief use Odinism were also used by Nazi leadership to promote its ideology. Right, let's go. So why is the defence bringing it up? So the defence attorneys for Allen say the state has evidence linking Odinists to the murder of the two girls in Delphi, Indiana. They allege investigators failed to turn over evidence and reports suggesting the crime was part of a ritualistic sacrifice. In the 136-page filing, they are asking the court to set a hearing regarding the information and evidence allegedly hidden by investigators. So what is the defence saying investigators are hiding? The defence alleges investigators consulted with a professor regarding possible Odinism signatures at the crime scene, but failed to produce a report or identify the professor to the defence. They also claim investigators failed to provide information regarding Brad Holder, an Odinist in the area whose son was reportedly dating Williams.
Okay.
That is Abi.
Yeah.
I did not know that. That is crazy.
Wow.
So there's an Odinist in the area whose son was reportedly dating Abi.
Dating Abi.
What? Brad Holder posted on social media images mimicking the very runes which were found at the crime scene. So this is that alleged boyfriend of Abby's dad.
Yeah.
A crime scene unreleased and unknown to the general public even to this day. So was that a coincidence? Why is he putting pictures on social media of images mimicking the runes which were found at the crime scene? So, what evidence is the defence claiming links Odinist to the murders? The main evidence allegedly connecting the crimes to Odinist includes the positioning of the girls' bodies and sticks and marks at the crime scene. The defence team says resemble runes, which are associated with Norse culture and religion. So, the position of the bodies, the defence claims the position of William's body echoes that of a painting titled Odin Hanging from World Tree. I'm sorry, I've got to have a look at that.
Is there any
I knew she would.
Like Dawdle said, is there any pictures of the rooms? I'm interested to see what
Yeah.
symbols are on them.
I think this one.
Oh shit! Freaking phones. Stop. Yeah. So I wanted to do that. Oh, damn it!
Hanging from World Tree. That's what I. Oh, from World Tree. Okay.
Drowned.
Drowned.
Is that it? Yeah, that's it. Oh, let me go down. Oh, there we are. Yeah. So it looks like he's touching water, maybe? Or yeah. Don't like that.
No.
So apparently that is like the position of the bodies.
Wow.
The filing calls the painting evidence of an additional dark demonic component to Odinism. Lawyers cited imagery online of a man hanging upside down from a tree who has been sliced in the neck with blood dripping to the ground. This man's arms are posed similarly to Abby's at the crime scene. This man's legs are also posed similarly to Abby's at the crime scene. His left leg is straight and his right leg is bent at the knee. The only difference is that the man's right leg is placed over the left leg, while Abby's right leg was posed under the left leg.
So like a really shit copycat.
Yeah. So that is the position of the right. Okay.
Oh, that's awful.
Suspicious.
Ooh, yeah.
Suspicious.
Indeed, it is. So, while disturbing, the image appears to be depicting a foundational myth in Norse belief, wherein Odin sacrificed himself on the branches of the world tree, stabbing himself and hanging upside down for 9 days to obtain the wisdom of runes. The myth does not involve human sacrifice.
No way, honey.
Oh, really? Sticks and tree... Oh, runes. Another piece of evidence the filing details is potential runes found at the crime scene. Sticks and tree branches were deliberately, carefully and proficiently placed on each girl in a certain arrangement by mimicking certain runes. At least
so it was a sacrifice.
At least one of the branches appeared to have its end cut off cleanly by some type of tool, like an electric saw, providing proof of a preconceived plan. Additionally, the blood of Liberty was used as the paint to mark a tree with a rune that looks similar to the letter F. With a simple Google search, these runes would be identifiable as one of the many calling cards of this pagan religious cult. Runes were the alphabet of the Vikings, and some closely resemble modern letters.
Yeah, it was definitely all of them. They were all in it.
The letter F was allegedly painted on a tree in blood as well as through an arrangement of sticks. And that is seeming to be the rune Ansus, I hope I said that right, which closely resembles the letter F. Very interesting.
Antlers created with stick branches placed above Abby's head.
Where are you reading? I'll find it.
Oh, no, Heidi in chat.
Oh,
sorry.
Really, Heidi? See, this is an interesting part of this, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm glad we came on to this.
Yeah.
So, okay, the defence says Alan, who has been held at the Westville Correctional Facility, has been the target of abuse by Westville guards who are part of the cult.
Yeah, and it's interesting that they went, sorry to say it, but for two virgins.
Yeah.
Yeah. God, it just gets worse and worse, doesn't it, really?
Yeah.
Is ritual sacrifice part of Odinism? Norse paganism in general does not practice human sacrifice. But some individuals...
I was going to say, I don't know why pagans are even in there, because they don't do sacrifices if you're a real pagan.
But some individual Odinists have committed murders due to their beliefs, and they were not done as ritual sacrifices.
Doesn't mean it's not done in it, though. People take, oh, yeah, I'm now following this religion, I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
You know, they just take it into their own hands.
Is Odinism related to Satanism? No, Odinism is based on Norse beliefs, and Satanism is not a figure in Norse mythology. My words are going now. That is mental. Absolutely mental.
Oh, that image is horrible.
Sorry.
Yeah.
No, it's fine. It's just, obviously, now we know how she was placed. It's not just a found on the floor.
Transcendentalism. What the hell?
That's supposed to Google when you need them.
Yeah.
How do you spell it? I'll have a look. Transcendentalism.
Transcendentalism.
Jesus. Far too much for Tash.
An idealistic philosopher. Oh my god. An idealistic philosophical and social movement which developed in New England around 1836 in reaction to rationalism, influenced by Romanticism, Platonism, and Kantian philosophy. It taught that divinity pervades all nature and humanity, and its members held progressive views, feminism, and communal living. Okay.
What a word to come out.
A system developed by Immanuel Kant based on the idea that in order to understand the nature of reality, one must first examine and analyse the reasoning process which governs the nature of experience.
Why do they have to give these things like long, complicated words?
I'm trying to see, I'm still trying to answer your question about were the three suspects actually connected.
Yeah, I just feel between those two there's some sort of connection.
Oh.
The other two definitely met somewhere, and I want to say like in a pub.
Yeah. I find it interesting that they keep saying this Odinism is white nationalists. Yeah,
There would have one of them, because if it was all three, right, one of them would not have wanted to go through with it.
According to the filings, detectives previously obtained information that connected two groups of men who practiced Odinism to the murders, one in or near Delphi and another that lived in Rushville. Writing in the court documents, defense attorneys stated that a letter regarding the possible connection between the killings
Ask me again later.
Ask me again later.
and the group practicing Odinism in Rushville was withheld by the prosecution. The attorneys accused prosecutors, as well as multiple law enforcement officers, from hiding information about the Odinist connections to the murders.
That's another thing I can't wrap my head around, right? How people can defend these sick idiots for money.
Because they're sick themselves.
Yeah. You know,
That's it, basically.
so messed up.
The defense attorney stated it wasn't plausible that only one person was responsible for the murders.
I'd never try and defend a killer, would you?
No.
Oh, thanks, Alicia. Hi, hope you're
Right.
okay.
Hi, Alicia.
0.
0. Yeah, got 0 tolerance.
No.
No. Sorry.
Hope you're well, Alicia.
Abandoned building.
Abandoned building.
See, so the defense were going along this whole rune thing, and the Odinism
Hey,
signature.
Alicia.
But that angle was essentially abandoned after the professor told law enforcement it was not Odinism or any type of cult worshipping or any type of group that would have conducted the crime.
Absolutely shocking.
Authorities failed to arrest or even properly investigate multiple obvious suspects who had connections to Odinism.
Hi, Whiskey Girls. Welcome in.
Hello.
Law enforcement in charge of the investigation seemingly and quickly abandoned the obvious correlation between the crime scene and Odinism, despite an obscene amount of evidence linking Odinism to the crime scene, and even in spite of powerful evidence linking specific Odinites in and around Indiana to the murders.
Yeah, all 3 of them. It is all 3 of them, without a shadow of a doubt.
So no electronic data extracted from computers or phones or from social media linked Richard Allen to the crime scene. And furthermore, he had no connection to the Odinist suspects. So people are saying that he's just, what's the word, scapegoat, is it?
Yeah. Weakest link.
Yeah. So, I don't know, it's just awful. Oh.
Because that a property owner would have known where to do it, that specific, like, out the way, nobody would be, nobody would see.
Well, like you said, who has a backyard this big?
Yeah.
Sense.
It's interesting listening to what Spirit's saying.
Yeah.
It is actually, because a lot of it's been very relevant, hasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Whiskey, welcome in.
And I'm glad he got put in prison, but I still think he shouldn't be breathing.
No.
I thought you said
What the
breathing.
hell was that? Things are moving.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah.
Obviously, you can
think they
see I'm not.
if
This is how I'm sat every night. I do not move, do I, Tash?
no, you can't move. It's not exactly huge in there.
Yeah.
Thank you for the gift, Whiskey.
I think personally, like how the girls were taken is how they should be taken. Do you know what I mean? I feel
Yeah.
like if you do
Yeah.
something to someone, that's how you
yeah.
should go.
Absolutely. But it's like something's got to flip in your brain to even want to do something like that, though.
That's what I mean. You can't.
You
You're not
know?
wired right. You cannot be wired right to
And
even think about doing that.
and you know we could pull this apart.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because there's always the unseen elements that don't get looked into, isn't there?
Yeah.
I did hear something about
Especially
Rachel.
Rachel.
Especially the fact that they're tied to a cult.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know? So yeah.
It is
So,
Heidi, yeah. It's just horrendous, absolutely horrendous.
it's like, were they hosts?
Yeah.
What do you mean, hosts?
Cultists.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I just can't stop looking at the picture of the guy on the bridge, though.
It's just eerie.
With the
like
of Ron as well when he's walking. It looks so similar to that.
Yeah. Same build and everything. You hearing something there, Ali?
No, the thingy's moving.
What?
The shelf infrared. The shelf mat is hanging off the edge and it's flapping.
Of course it is.
Of course it is. Yeah.
Don't expect anything less.
How do I talk
Well, he's been convicted of it, Alicia. He got, what did you get, 130 years?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the one that's taken.
Here's Alicia.
Hey, girl.
Can you see it?
Yes. Y'all see me?
Okay?
Can you hear me?
I'm
I
interested.
can hear you. Can't see you.
I think you've missed what we've spoken about when we were going through the case itself. But do you know about this case?
Oh, what am I doing?
No, I don't really know about it. Oh, hold on. I have never done this before. Am I doing this right? I don't even know what I'm doing.
Yeah, you will.
So no, where is this case from?
Indiana.
Indiana.
I want to have a fag.
Indiana.
God.
Okay. And who is it?
So basically, it's in Delphi, Indiana, and there was two girls, Abi and Libby. They were off school for the day and they went to a nature reserve. They were walking, as you can see in the picture, along the Monon High Bridge, which is a really old, rickety bridge. Libby took out her phone, started recording Abi on the bridge, and she also caught footage.
Destinies.
Oh, I think I might have heard a little bit of something about that, actually.
Yeah, it was in 2017.
Yeah, I think I do remember faintly about it. They hadn't really talked about it much, so that's why, some of them are forgotten over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose there's so much going on, isn't there?
It's like, I don't understand it, right? I might have the dates wrong, but... In your car. Right. In the United States alone,
a big night. You know.
Sorry, go on, Ali.
In the United States alone, since 2006, I think it is. Do you know how many children have gone missing just in the
Oh,
United States?
no, how many?
Over 8 million. Where the hell have they gone?
Where are they?
And their Amber Alert system has saved a massive 1,130.
What?
So that really works well, doesn't it?
So when I was younger, I actually got a house shut down that is a hospice home because I felt something was very problematic to that area and what was happening. And there was a total of us, there was like 7 to 8 kids, and me and my brother were included on this. And this house had no food. We got our money together, and we went down to the store and got food. When we got back, I was like, okay, we got to go and make a phone call. We got to call our caseworkers because this just isn't right. And these ladies don't know nothing about anything that's going on. They were just like, you show up here, you work here, and that's what you do. And something was very, very off about it. So we called our caseworkers. They came in. Cops were called. News was called. They ended up shutting down the hospice home. And
Wow.
It was in a traffic ring.
Wow.
What?
Yes. So we got that house
clouds. You're in the clouds.
Couldn't have anything done from it. So.
Wow.
Yeah. So, you know, in foster care over here, the children are most likely to go missing.
Vandalized.
Or trafficked. So.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah.
And Native Americans as well. So I'm like in that top tier. I was like that 10%. And I was so lucky to be able to survive how I did. I did run away from care at the age of 16.
Wow.
So, and that was kind of afterwards because we were in a foster home that they were putting locks on the doors. So like we were locked in our bedrooms.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
And so I couldn't get out. And so I broke the window and climbed out and went and knocked on the door and made them unlock all of our doors.
Yeah.
And I called my caseworker the next day when I was at school. And then I got removed from the home and they kept my brother there. And I was so mad.
All I can think about as well is that the massive fire risk. You know, if there's a fire in the building, you're all locked in rooms.
Yes, that was a major issue. And that's what I stated to foster care as well. So whenever they moved me, they had to change a lot of things around, but they didn't want me there no more because obviously I'm one person that will not keep my mouth closed.
Do you know what? I'm yet to hear a good story about a foster home.
Yeah. All right.
They're really. I have not seen any of them to be good. So.
Oh, sad.
And I was in the care system for a good while before I ran away. So.
I'm going to show you a video, Alicia, so you can see the video of what we've been talking about. And it might help you recap.
I know we all have been invested in the Delphi case, and only a few people, for a short moment, got to see that video. Tonight, we're going to show it to you. But let's begin with the way this whole case has gone from the beginning in the state of Indiana. Like, no transparency whatsoever. Like, basically what you're looking at is the level of transparency that the state of Indiana had in this investigation, limiting what the public knew, what was unsolved. And then when they said they did solve it, it was with information that they had right out of the box. So there were problems with the investigation and the communication in this case. And then when it came time for the court case, obviously, no cameras. We don't want you to see it. We don't want you to hear any of the evidence in this case. And since the case has been over, it still has been most states files over the evidence. Some of the evidence in the case
I've just
becomes
muted
public.
her just for a moment.
Not in this case. There's just been no transparency. And I think for Abi and Libby, they deserve better here because the lack of transparency and the way the investigation was done, I think, slowed down the case and slowed down the ability to attempt to hold someone responsible. That's
Yeah,
number
because
one.
the person in charge would have been getting a backhander to bloody...
And those questions all exist because nobody saw or heard the case. And this is a case where people, and there are other suspects, and the way the public has interpreted it, there's really no trust in what happened there because of all the strange circumstances, which again, come back to the transparency of investigators and then the court and the judge in this case. Now, Richard Allen was convicted. He was convicted beyond a reasonable doubt. The jury did not deliberate that long. They really, they were convinced. Well, they saw the evidence. I didn't, you didn't, unless you were in Delphi for this. So what does that mean? Like, why was he convicted? Well, one of the biggest pieces of evidence in all of this was the video of the bridge guy. And a little piece of that video had been made public while there was still a search for a killer. They're looking for the public's help.
His eyes are terrifying me.
Well, now the bridge guy...
Yeah, I was going to say, he doesn't... I'm getting a bad vibe off of him.
Released.
His eyes look dodgy.
You're going to see it. Now,
Something
it's
dark about him.
seconds long. You have to listen very closely. You have to watch very closely. So let's get to it, and let's play that video for you right now.
Hello.
Ali said hi.
See, this is the there's no path going there, so we have to go down here.
Virginia.
Down the hill.
And that was it. You heard the down the hill at the end. It was kind of faint in the background. I heard it. There were also some whispers by Abi and Libby. And it seemed that they were not necessarily scared, but maybe very aware of this man on the bridge and probably a little concerned, but then they don't run away. They're looking for a path, and then he is there. Let's get some more insight. Joining us tonight, Court TV senior producer Barbara McDonald, who was at Richard Allen's trial, has covered this case from day one. Barbara, we now all of us get to see this video. I want to go through it piece by piece. In the beginning, I hear a whisper, and it sounds like it could be coming from Abi. Did you hear a whisper? And if so, what did you hear in the beginning of that video?
I've seen this video now maybe 10 times, and what I hear is Abi saying something to the effect of, is he still there? Is he right there? Something like that. One of the things the state said that one of the girls says very clearly in the video is that be a gun. And I don't hear either girl say that in this video. We also, Vinny, don't know which version of the video this is. There was the original extracted version from Libby's phone, but then there were multiple versions that were enhanced. Some were stabilized. My understanding is initially the video might have been upside down. So we don't know if this is that original file. This was put out by the defense on a website that they're saying they're going to start putting this information out for transparency in this case. Richard Allen's appellate attorneys indicated today they are filing that appeal. They filed their notice. So this is likely all gearing up for that effort.
And, you know, as I watched the video, I'm wondering why it wasn't released in total from the beginning. I don't understand why. other than they have the ability, I guess, to not release it. So it seems that, yeah, there is an acknowledgement that he is there. I want to put a still frame up on the screen, which is from the video, which gives us some idea of the distance between Abi and the bridge guy. And when we take a look at that, behind the vehicle, we'll have a better idea of where everyone is. But it seems like they are relatively close to one another on that bridge. It's not, there's not a huge distance between the two, between Abi and the bridge guy,
Yeah, and that
right
was
behind him.
Exactly. And that was a point that a lot of people picked up on at trial, because some of the people who viewed the video felt that he was much, much further behind Abi, and that there was perhaps an unattainable distance that he would have had to have made up to catch up to Abi. This video, from my perspective, shows that he is behind her some distance, but he's not really that far her, in this still photo that you can see. And you do notice in the video that Libby is already on the south side of the land. She is no longer on the bridge when she's recording this video. And then Abi manages to get off the bridge and sort of run past Libby and then stop there next to her. And they sort of wait for this man, telling him, you know, there's no path, so we would have to go down here. And they sort of
looks like someone
wait
else
for an
over there.
answer and a direction from him. You really wonder what that interaction was between the three of them prior to this video being made.
Yeah, I want to play the little piece of the end of it now. And what we're going to do is we're going to boost the audio a little bit of the bridge guy. Let's take a look and a listen.
You can hear the whisper in there.
Do you know what? Did you say there was a gun involved?
See, this is the
Yeah,
What if they saw it? What if that's the whispering? He's got a gun.
that's what I
Yeah.
said as well, because it's been discussed that he was holding a gun.
Because
And
you would whisper, wouldn't you? You'd be like, shit, he's got a gun.
Yeah, and that's why they didn't put up much of a fight.
And that's why she said there's no path.
exactly.
He was like down there.
Yeah. That is exactly what and they actually mentioned that as well. Was he, you know, holding one in the hand that wasn't in his pocket, or pulled one out of his pocket? Yeah, and Les Dordell said there was a shell casing found nearby.
They saw.
Apparently had a gun around in his gun, and they did find that out. But you can hear them whispering at the beginning, like they said as well.
Because she sounds a bit panicky there.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Out of breath, like run.
So
They're distressed.
Of that
They
back
are
and forth, when
distressed.
they're talking about the path, are you interpreting it that they're already acknowledged that the bridge guy is going to make them go down a path, or are Abi and Libby trying to figure out where a path is? Because what I don't hear the panic necessarily at that moment from them, although I hear something as she's running by, right? As Abi runs by, that's when she says something.
Well, and then when he says guys, some people say that she responds hi. I don't think she's saying hi. I think that's more of a, like being startled by Samuel. To me, Abi in this video seems more concerned. Libby, we don't see her face. Her voice sounds very calm, but, you know, her family has also described her as somebody who would stay calm in a situation like that. And perhaps Abi might not have. You know, again, just the sadness of this video. This is the final minutes of these girls' lives. This is a story that I've certainly covered for 8 years. And it's sad to see this. It's sad to see this video.
So I think there's two ways to interpret the video. And originally, this is the first time I'm seeing it, right? Tonight is the first time I'm seeing this video. Mm-hmm. But I always wondered, was the video, to take a picture of my friend crossing the bridge? And she looks like she's gingerly crossing it. I mean, it's a very treacherous bridge. I would never walk over it myself. It's old, it's crickety, there's slats, you can see.
What?
They redid it here.
What was that?
I have no idea.
I mean, that's not
Box.
something that I would
Cox.
want for myself.
I thought it said Cox. Did it say Cox?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it did.
Of her, Abby,
No
way
crossing
I'd
the bridge. And I
walk
was
across
wondering if that's
No
why
way.
they separated so one could take a picture of the other. But now I'm almost getting a different flavor for it, that maybe it was because of this man who was following them.
And I believe there was some sort of an interaction, some conversation.
Definitely.
That these girls concerned that, perhaps he said something to them like, "You're not supposed to be here, and I'll show you how to get away."
Shut up.
You can be. We just don't know. None of that came out in Richard Allen's trial, any interaction prior to this video. And the state's case at trial was that if they can prove that Richard Allen is Bridge Guy, then they can prove that Richard Allen killed these two girls. And that's what the jury believed, is that video shows Richard Allen.
Yeah, I was wondering if the voice was the Bridge Guy. I'm 1,000% convinced that it's the Bridge Guy just because of the proximity and everything else. But now the question is, if there's a successful appeal, what happens then? But just seeing this at least gives us some idea of what Abi and Libby confronted.
Wow. It's awful, isn't it? Let me just Alicia now because she's.
It's only because it was repeating. We love you, really.
It's okay.
There we go.
Yeah,
We weren't just being mean.
I put my phone down on the table, and I guess the way I had it set, it had the Jill echoing back to itself. I don't know. It's the only thing I could think. So I picked it up. I was like, "Oh, put it down."
Jolly. Well,
So
these lives aren't going to be jolly.
Wild. That was very, very wild. I was sitting there doing a little bit of reading where they said that it looked like their bodies were staged.
Yeah.
And
Wristwatch.
Oh, thank you.
They were definitely distressed.
It's cool, isn't it, Copbad? Y'all. Y'all. I love it. I absolutely love it.
Thank you.
There. Definitely led there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely a sad story.
They probably thought they were meeting a teenage boy or something.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that they thought they was meeting somebody, and when they realized that it was somebody else, they was like,
too late.
Yep, it was too late.
Yeah.
And that is a thing over here that is real bad for teenagers meeting people online.
Yeah, it happens everywhere.
I try to tell mine, I'm like, gotta watch who you talk to. You don't see them face to face.
It's a scary world.
It is. It's awful what's happened to them. Bless their hearts.
They're poor parents.
Yeah.
It's
just everyone involved.
It's not like we used to be from like back in the day when you could go outside and hang out 5 miles down from your house and not have to worry about it. Now you have to sit there and watch your back everywhere you go because you don't know if there's a van going to run up on you or somebody that's walking with you. I'm actually from Texas. Well, I was born in Kansas, but I moved to Texas. So my accent's a little bit of everywhere. It's just really...
We're here for it.
Really strong Southern accent.
I love the Southern accent.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but I am tired.
Absolutely pooped.
I can see it in your face, Tash.
I'm so tired.
Yeah, that's why my camera ain't
We
back
have-
on, because I am. Yeah.
We have been on for 2 hours now, so
Wow.
I think we should wrap it up. But
Yep.
I just want to say a huge thank you to everyone for joining and listening to this and raising awareness for this horrible, horrible tragedy.
It's absolutely shocking.
I feel for the
249.
family.
Final.
Yeah.
Thank you to everybody at home for watching.
Yeah, thanks.
Just thinking about like what I used to do as a teenager, you know, I'd go out and do all this stuff and take pictures with my friends and mess about and go to.
Thing is, back in my day, I didn't have a camera phone that was that good, so I would have been even more screwed. Do you know what I mean? Like,
exactly. But you are not old enough to say back in my day.
I didn't have
Definitely
camera
not old
phones.
enough, Tash.
I feel like
we had
I
them.
am.
We had them big car phones. I don't. You remember the
Yeah.
bag car phones? That's what we
It's like
had.
that sketch. He goes, "Hello,
It's just mad, isn't it? The world should be getting safer,
let
not
me move
freaking more
about 10
dangerous.
See if the bag will work there. Then you run out of plug-in.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
Run
these
out of credit.
days, isn't it? Like the way that cases are solved is so technological now, isn't it? You know, it's about where phones ping on which
moss thing and
they are now.
So I mean, it's a blessing and a curse, isn't it, that we're all on our phones so much? But a big thank you to everybody.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Alicia, for coming in the box as well.
We will be back talking to Spirit tomorrow night.
And yeah, if you guys wanted to know any more, we can post any links and resources and things. Just drop us a message. We'd be happy to share. And yeah, thank you again. Yeah, we've. Did you say tomorrow night, Ali, for the Spirits?
Yeah, we'll be back with Spirit tomorrow.
So if you're not already, follow the SPT account. You can click on that account in the box there. And
drop it a follow.
You guys doing our paranormal stuff.
I still haven't done the footage from the other night yet.
Oh, I need to see it again.
I know, that's nuts.
And we'll download this live and pop it on our YouTube, hopefully tomorrow, if it all downloads well.
Yeah, because my dad wants to watch it.
Okay. Oh, and also, if anybody's got any spooky stories that they want reading out, pop them over to the Spooky Pod thing as well.
We want to do some spooky stuff.
Yeah, if you've had any really weird experiences that you can't explain, we